Hey guys, I'm back for my May wrap up, so welcome. Again, I have to do a lot of adding them in the picture because I don't have the books presently with me anymore. But the first book that I read in May was Victorian Psycho by Virginia Feddo. I gave it 3 stars. This one really was like calling my name. I love the cover and it just sounds like a really good horror read. I wanted to love it, but I didn't, unfortunately. Did I tell you I gave it 3 stars? Gave it 3 stars. It has lots of gore, but there's like no plot. There's no reason for the gore. So I was like, why? It's just like killing people to kill people. So I don't know. And then like some of it seemed like unrealistic that she was able to get away with those murders, but that's all right. So yeah. And then I read The Creation of Half Broken People by Sifwi Gloria Nidlovu. That one was from House of Anansi and Tandem Global Collective, so thank you for sending that my way for a read along. The premise really sounded great. It was like gothic African horror and the cover was beautiful and I was really excited about it. And the beginning was really good, but then I found that it kind of fell apart. It got disjointed and confusing. Maybe it was a little bit over my head. So that one I think I gave 3 stars to. I didn't write that one down. Then I read The Great Dinosaur Sleepover with my daughter. She was sent this one from Tundra Books and Tandem Global Collective, and it was really fun. We had got a little birthday supplies and had a little dinosaur birthday. It's by Linda Bailey. We gave it 4 stars, and it was kind of like laugh out loud, actually, to be honest with you. And the art is really bright and colorful. Well, it was like, except for the page that I turned to, so in the dark, but it was really fun because like you get to look at every page, or not, I guess not quite every page, but there is like, we're searching for where is it, like a T-Rex. You can see him on every page. I'm just trying to see if I can find it now, but like his shadow and everything. I think that was this one. Yeah, so like, I don't know, he eventually comes into the book, but you can search for him because he's following all the dinosaurs and the people. I read On Her Terms, which this one was a Pride Book Tour and Kensington read, and it's by Amy Spalding. I give it 3.5 stars. I did enjoy the fake dating trope. I really enjoy this cover, and I did like our characters. Clementine is this character, and then Chloe is this character, and I really enjoyed Clementine. Chloe was kind of like cocky, I'm a hot kind of person, which I mean, maybe she is, but she definitely acted like it. In the book, there were a couple of spicy scenes, and it is sapphic, obviously, but it did keep me entertained. I would recommend it. And then I listened to The Thicket by Noelle W. Eiley. I give it 3.5 stars. I was kind of like literally reading through all of her books because they keep becoming available on Libro. And I got it from Simon Maverick. That one was like a creepy Halloween one. It took place at kind of like a Halloween horror nights. So it was almost like the perfect setting for murders because there's already like fake bodies and people are already screaming. So it kind of like played into that a lot, which was creepy, but like cool. I like the narration, and yeah, I would still recommend it. Then for virtual book club, we read Lone Women by Victor Laval. I give it 3.5 stars. I was super excited for this one. I've read other books by Victor Laval, and I do actually enjoy like a Western, as long as it's not like your dad's Westerns. I loved it until I didn't. The sapphic aspect was my favorite, but I thought the book was going in like a whole different direction, and then it was like, bam, magic realism, and I don't like magic realism. So at that point I was like, eh. So that kind of sucked, but it was fine. And then I read Everything Here Is Fine by Erin Tushaby. I gave that one 3.5 stars. That was also a House of Anansi and a Tandem read-along that I got invited to. So that one, I did like that it was set in a different country, and then we got to learn about the country that it was set in. Now I'm like blanking. It was like in Africa, but now I can't remember which country it was in, honestly. But we got to learn about like that setting, and then it was realistic because our one character was a lesbian and her mother didn't accept her, and it was like no matter how successful she was in life, her mom still didn't accept her. So it's kind of like, I find that as like a realistic thing that happens to people these days. So, which it sucks, but it's like, that's reality. unfortunately. Hopefully one day that changes. And then, sorry if you hear lots of noise, my kitten is being crazy. Hold on. You're gonna meet Caleb. He's so cute, but he's so bad. He's a baddie. All right, and then I read Coven. So I bought this last year at Indie Bookstore Day, and I just hadn't got around to it, and it was actually like so good. It was better than I thought it was gonna be. So I'm not sure why I waited so long, but it is by Jennifer Dugan, and I gave it 4 stars. I like the mystery, but I could guess kind of that mystery just from reading it. So there's trying to figure out who like a death witch is who's killing people, and I was able to guess who it was. It does have a queer main character, yay. It does have great artwork. And honestly, this is gonna sound really weird, but my favorite is the main character's like hair. It just like flows so beautifully in like the pictures, which sounds weird, but it's true. But yes, and the story just was good, so I recommend that one. And then I listened to Run Unread by Noelle W. Eiley. I gave it 3 stars. I got that one from Simon Maverick as well. That one is like about a girl and her friend going to a party, and they're run off the road and then kidnapped by like these guys. And my like biggest critique was I feel like the action started too soon because I couldn't get connected to the characters. They didn't really build that story with them, and then all of a sudden the action was happening. It wasn't bad, it was just like I wanted more before the action started. We were just kind of like missing that background information. And then our main characters were super brave. I wouldn't have been able to survive and go through what they did, so I just really appreciated that. And again, it was like, I feel like it's realistic, right? Like she writes like realistic, scary horror, thriller, mystery things. And then the last real book I have in my hands, Big Name Fan by Ruthie Knox and Annie Marr. This one I give 3 stars to. This was also a Pride Book Tours and a Kensington book, so I really appreciate you guys sending them my way. I love this cover. I like the colors. It's like that ombre. It reminds me of like Summertime Lemonade or something. It was a sapphic book, and it had a second chance romance, so if you're into that, this is for you. The weird thing is I find like the characters on the front are super young, but then in the book they're like older. So that was kind of weird to think about. And it was a super, super slow burn. So like lots of things were happening that were exciting, but it was just like too slow of a burn for me. Then I read Room for Rent, or listened to it, by Noelle W. Eiley. I gave that one 3 stars as well. It was from Simon Maverick. I guessed early on again what was happening. And like, so it's a girl who goes off to college and she moves into this house, and then things are happening in this house, and it's like a really creepy guy, and he pretended to be a girl, but then he denies pretending to be a girl and whatever. And it was like good for her for trying to stick it out, but like for me, like the second the vibes were off, I would have been gone. Like there's no way I would have stayed there. But yeah, I did enjoy that one. It was a little bit creepy. It did read a little bit younger, but that's all right. And then I read The Manor of Dreams by Christina Lee. I gave that one 3 stars. That was one of my most anticipated. I love the cover. Again, it was like a sapphic gothic, so it's like checking my boxes. It's from Simon & Schuster. I did enjoy the multiple POVs and what each character did bring to the story, but I found that there wasn't enough horror. So it was like a haunted house aspect, but it wasn't scary. And it was a little bit too long and too slow of a burn. But I have passed it on to someone who hopefully is enjoying it. And then I read 24690 by A.A. Dark, or I listened to it. This one I gave 3 stars to. I got it from Simon Maverick. It was, like, I don't know what I was thinking when I grabbed it. Like, it's not that I was surprised by it, but it was like, I was surprised by it when I was reading it, even though I don't know if I didn't read the synopsis or what I was doing, but it was like my first kind of like slave master, I don't know if you would call it erotic, maybe, book. So in the actual story, there's like slaves, and it's almost like a, not like a game, but it's like people are kidnapped and then sold within this castle area, but it's like real daytime. And I was like horrified by what was happening, because once this person is your slave, you can do whatever you want to them, and even if you kill them, it doesn't matter, and then you can just buy a new slave. And the girls had like atrocious things happen to them. I did touch on some like Stockholm syndrome type things, which I guess you would probably have to do to actually survive in whatever in there. I did grab book 2 because I want to know what happens. There was like 2 different male characters and Bram was one of them, and I actually like wish Bram's story ended differently. If you've read it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, and it didn't, so I was very sad. I thought they were tricking us, but they weren't. And then I read The Wren in the Holly Library by K.A. Lindy. I gave it 3 stars as well. This one I really liked the cover. It was just the story was okay. I did like I had my own copy and then I did a read along in one of the groups that I'm in. It was just way too slow of a burn for me. It didn't hold my attention. And like I love dystopian, and it was pitched as a dystopian, so I was so excited, but it is definitely just a fantasy. It is not a dystopian. And it was reminiscent of Beauty and the Beast, so maybe if that's your thing, you might like it. And then the last book that I read in the month of May was Blue is the Warmest Color by Jewel Moreau, I think is how you say the name. I give that one 3.5 stars. It was for our in-person book club, or one of the ones I'm in. The artwork was impeccable. I did enjoy it. I love how the blue fades over time, and it's like basically it was showing that anything in blue is like happy and then it disappears. There were so many details in the art. It's just the story was slow for me and just kind of okay. And there was like too many secrets and I felt really bad. And then it's like things are hidden, and it's not pitched as a memoir, but it almost has like memoir aspects to it. So there is that. But that was everything I read in May, 15 books. Let me know if you've read any of them, and I will see you guys in like 5 seconds for my June wrap up. Have a good time.